you guys can see what I'm doing, see what's going on here. And I forgot one of my pepper varieties, so I'm gonna go grab that right now. It's just next door. I just finished rinsing these off. These are orange habanero peppers that I'm gonna be using today. Alrighty, everybody, so I'll give you guys a couple seconds to join me before I get into all things hot pepper sauce. Hang on. Totally forgot my coffee this morning. I had a cup earlier. I need another cup. All right, everybody. Welcome to my weekly live chat. Good morning, Caitlin. Thanks for joining me. I am Mary from Mary's Heirloom Seeds, and I try to go live here on YouTube every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central. Hey, Esther's daughter. Thanks for joining us. Today, it was super stormy last night, and I wasn't sure if the rain was going to hold off, so I decided to come into the kitchen and make some hot pepper sauce. Hey, Jenny and Kimberly and Alyssa, thank you very much and good morning. So my hot pepper sauce is super, super simple. There are very few ingredients and you can make this raw. You can ferment this. You can fire roast it. You can grill it. Hey, Agape Field, thanks for joining us. So there are a lot of different ways that you can make hot pepper sauce. And I also want to say this. I have a variety here on my counter, my stove, that I'm going to share with you today. These are all pretty hot on the hot side. Hey, Tiger Lily, thanks for joining us. You don't have to use super hot peppers for your hot pepper sauce. It really is going to depend on what your level of hot is. I've got some customers that say jalapenos are too hot for them. I've got some customers that grow ghost peppers and Trinidad scorpion peppers because that's what they like. But I also have a couple of flavorful peppers. I didn't harvest any this morning. I harvested them the other day and we already ate them. There's the Pequeño yellow and the Pequeño red are both flavor peppers. They're not spicy. I walk around in the garden and I eat them just right off the plant because they're not spicy. They have a good, like almost a citrusy type of flavor to them, and they're not hot. Also, I want to share one thing with you too. I just added corn tassel earrings. I'll show you this one because you can see it a little better. At Mary's Heirloom Seeds, so I'm super excited to wear them today. I'm going to wear them out just because I can. You can call them harvest earrings, or they're perfect for Thanksgiving, honestly. Hey, Tom, thanks for joining us. So before I start with the hot pepper sauce, I want to share with you the ingredients. Like I said, super simple. You've got whatever pepper you want. Thanks, Esther's daughter. You've got vinegar, water, salt, garlic. That's it. Pepper, vinegar, water, salt, garlic. 5 ingredients. I got Bogatir garlic today. You want to make sure that you don't have any funky spots on your garlic that you're going to use for today. So just keep that in mind. I already shared this with you, but I'll show you again. Orange habaneros. I had a couple greens that fell off the plant, so I just added those to the plate since I was rinsing everything off. I've got Tabasco peppers. Yep, Kimberly, simple ingredients. I like easy. So these are Tabasco peppers. I love the heat on these. I have a lady I know that I give her peppers. She loves the flavor of the orange habaneros, even though she doesn't necessarily like the heat. So she makes it in a fire roasted salsa, and she just uses a little bit instead of a lot. She says the Tabasco peppers are super hot, and usually habaneros are hotter. We have Peter peppers, we have Takanatsume peppers, we have Aleppo peppers. So this is an Aleppo pepper. Usually they grow a little longer and they can turn red. Hey, Inga, they can turn red when they are like at their most mature. But I had this branch that was almost on the ground because these peppers were so heavy on that branch, and I didn't want to lose the whole branch. So I picked a couple of green ones just to show with you today. Then, of course, the fun Peter pepper is always interesting on the plate. Another one I'm going to share with you today. So many, I know. The Aleppo pepper is spicy, but it's not very hot. I did chop it up and put it in my salad because I thought it was more like an Anaheim pepper. It was definitely hotter than an Anaheim pepper. And Anaheim peppers are generally a mild pepper. So this is called a lemon drop pepper. I love peppers. I go crazy about planting peppers every year. And these are just the ones I harvested today. I still have a ton of different varieties out there. The lemon drops are amazing. They are on the spicy side, but not a super hot. And this one also has a slight citrusy flavor to it. And now what I'm going to use, one of what I'm going to use in my mix today is going to be cayenne peppers. So cayenne peppers start out green. I brought water with me because all of these peppers, when you breathe in those fumes, can be a little overpowering. These, I cut the tops off because I'm actually going to use these. Now, in the description section of this video, you'll find a link to my comprehensive planting guide. But you'll also find a link to all of the harvest recipes at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. One of the top recipes that I recently shared was the hot pepper sauce. So this recipe is on my website if you want to check it out. You don't have to write it all down while I'm making this. So the basic recipe is a 1/4 pound of peppers. I specified hot peppers because I like to use hot peppers. And then you're going to use a 1/2 cup of water, a 1/4 cup of vinegar, 5 cloves of garlic. If you don't like garlic as much as I do, you don't have to use as many. Or if you like garlic more than I do, you can use more. I have 6 because that was a full bulb of garlic. So I'm going to use a whole bulb in this. It's going to be garlicky. And then salt. To taste. If you like something like a little bit of salt or not a lot of salt. But when you can things, usually you use way more salt than you would in a regular recipe. I'm not going to can this recipe because I don't even know if it's a safe canning recipe. I'm going to make this to put in my refrigerator. Now, and a blender. I got a blender. This one's on the quiet side. So for this particular recipe, I'm going to use cayenne peppers and I'm going to use the orange habaneros. I've already removed the green tops to these and the habaneros. I didn't remove the tops to any of these other ones because those are going to be processed for something completely different. So super, super simple. By the way, if you guys have any questions, you guys are more than welcome to ask. If you are not on Facebook, you have missed a bunch of announcements. I didn't want to send all this out into multiple emails, so I'm going to share this with you here on Facebook. New arrivals at Mary's Heirloom Seeds will go out October 31st. Inga says, could you make this recipe to use sweet pepper instead of, yes, you absolutely can. I made this for a hot pepper sauce and I've never made it with the sweet peppers, but that's a great idea. And now you added something for me to check out. So I'll definitely do it. If you've ever had Tabasco sauce, you can make something very similar at home using your own homegrown Tabasco peppers. The Tabasco peppers are what was originally in the Tabasco pepper sauce. All right, so new arrivals. Let me add this really quick. Kimberly says, I already need them and don't even know what they are. All right, so new arrivals will be announced on October 31st. Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to send out an email with all of the information on October 31st. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to go live on Facebook on October 30th. And I'm pretty sure that is a Thursday. I was going to go live on October 31st. But I realized that while I don't do anything for Halloween, I understand that some of you might have kids that do something for Halloween, or maybe you're going out to a party, it's Friday night, or maybe you're just going to sit at home and read a book like I will. Good morning, David at Patriots Rabbitry. Thanks for joining us. So I did mention that as well. So you can make this as a fermented sauce. You can make it as a raw sauce. You can fire roast it. You can grill it. You can boil it. I am going to make this as a raw sauce because that's my favorite. My second favorite would be the fermented variety as well. All right, so new arrivals. Before I even get to this, I'm going to go live on Facebook on the 30th. The email is going to go out on the 31st. And I'm going to download the Facebook video from the 30th, and I will upload it to my YouTube channel on Friday the 31st. All right, so the question is, Blinn says, how do you ferment it? One of the much older videos I made probably in 2019 was when I was fermenting hot peppers for sauce. And then what I did was Jacob says your website is amazing. Thank you. What you do is you ferment the peppers and then you add everything together in a blender and you blend it that way. So my recipe was yellow Scotch bonnets and I fermented them. Fermenting is you're using, oh, now I can't remember. The recipe's on my website. I apologize. This was years ago. But the basics are peppers cleaned very well, lots of salt and vinegar. That's what my recipe is. And what you do is you can take, sorry about that. You can use a ball jar if you have a specific fermenting lid. I've got 3 in the countertop under there, but I don't want to get it right now. So what I did was I used a stone. It's called a stone, but it's actually glass. So once you put your peppers in here, then you have something that holds it down, and then you have a fermenting lid. You don't have to use the fermenting lid, but it's nice to let some of the gases escape without having an open jar so that you don't have any debris getting in there. So after my live chat, I'll pull up the fermenting video and show you what I did to ferment. Also in the description section of this video, you'll find a link to my harvest recipes. And in the harvest recipe, you'll see my fermented pepper instructions. Patriots Rabbitry is helping me out. Thank you so much. David says 1 cup of water, 1 teaspoon salt for the brine, and let it sit as long as you want. You let yours sit for a year. Whoa, that's pretty cool. I only let mine sit for, I think, 6 weeks before I used it for my hot pepper sauce. And for that, I took the fermented peppers. I did onions, cilantro, and yellow pear tomatoes. And I blended that all up and made a hot sauce. Oh, it was so good. But it's because you had the really hot heat of a Scotch bonnet with that sweetness of the yellow pear tomatoes. So good. All right, so let's get started on the actual pepper sauce. We've been here for 12 minutes already and I haven't even made it yet. But now that I have my, I reuse jars. So this was a pasta sauce jar and I washed it, popped it in my cabinet so that I can use this later. Kimberly says, ball jars. My husband told me the other day, he read that if canning in a pressure cooker and it's not a ball jar, those ball jars were cracking. So I don't know about that. If I was going to pressure can anything or even water bath can, I would not use a reused jar. I would use a ball jar or a Kerr jar. I mean, there's a lot of different brands, but it's easy. Inga says I love reusing those. Yep, it's great. And I actually have, I'm gonna go off camera real quick. Speaking of reusing jars, this was the Tabasco pepper sauce that I made the other day. So this is 100% Tabasco peppers with garlic and the same recipe, but I didn't use a mix of garlic. So there's that. Esther says, I've bought jars from Dollar General and then that never cracked. Very cool. So you shared your experience, which is awesome. All right, so here we go. I'm going to add my cayenne peppers first. Jacob says a rock works well. Yep, definitely clean your rock first before you use it. Trying not to drop these. Fortunately, my kitchen counter is clean. All right, so first I add my cayenne peppers. Now I add my habaneros. You can use a mix or you can use a single. It's totally fine. And then now I'm going to add my garlic. Now, I'm probably going to need more liquid in this, just in case. I'm not 100% sure because it just happens. Oops, sorry. I keep going in and out because I'm moving around. Sorry about that, guys. See if it works. See if it brightens up. There we go. All right, so I got my garlic. I got my water here. It's probably not going to be enough. I can tell you that right now. Probably need more. Grab some more water and vinegar. There we go. Better. And I don't even measure out the salt half the time. You can use a teaspoon. You can use, I wouldn't go so far as using a tablespoon. It doesn't have to be any kind of special salt. It doesn't have to be like pickling salt or anything. Inga says, you have to be careful when purchasing jars. The box will state if they are considered decorative or for canning. Yep, absolutely. That is true. Because there are decorative jars. So, yep, absolutely. All right, so here we go. We're going to blend this up. If you don't like loud noises, sorry. Now, in general, I'm going to blend that much more, but for the purpose of the video, I wanted to just blend it a little bit. All right, so you can see the color is not as red as the first one I did because more than half of this was the orange habanero. You're going to have a lighter color. Plus, I added way more garlic to this than I did my Tabasco. And then you have, again, because you have a mix of peppers, it's not going to be as red. This one was all red Tabasco peppers. So now at least I can differentiate between the two. One thing I will say is, not only does this have to be refrigerated, but in my opinion, it takes on a better flavor if you let it sit in the refrigerator for about 3 days before you actually start using it. The flavors just kind of meld together a lot better. Patriot Rabbitry says, don't use tap water. Yeah, that's true. We use filtered water and everything. Agape Field says, you've never tried fermenting, but I'm definitely wanting to try it. Very cool. Yep, and you can leave it, you can definitely leave it on the counter if you do it with just vinegar and salt. Because my recipe calls for water and vinegar, you definitely want to make sure that you refrigerate it. So just throwing that out there at you. And I've done that too, just left it out on the counter with vinegar and salt and you're good to go. Like I said, because this has a water content in it, you don't want to leave this out. You want to put it in the refrigerator because it's not shelf stable. So you want to make sure that you are not making yourself sick. So, all right. Does anybody have any questions on this? In the description section, like I mentioned, you've got a link to my comprehensive planting guide. You've got a link to all of the harvest recipes that I've posted at Mary's Heirloom Seeds. You can see the very beginning ones where the pictures aren't so great, but I haven't removed those because, you know, I was newer to food photography. Then you can see some of the ones that are super fancy that Michelle, my sister, made for me. But then most of the recipes I share are very simple. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. This video in particular, you can watch at any time. So if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching. And feel free to share it with people if you want. So just to recap, if you are looking for the new arrivals announcement, I will be live on my Facebook page on the 30th of October. That video will be loaded up to my YouTube channel on the 31st, and the official announcement will go out in an email on the 31st. So now you have the updates as well. Just in case you missed my Facebook announcement, I've been posting a lot there about the new arrivals, some amazing stuff. And for those of you that aren't on my Facebook page, I'll go ahead and share some of that information, the really cool pictures of the new seeds, the actual seeds that I have in my hand. Those are super fun. And then I just added some super fun corn earrings just in time for Thanksgiving. All right, everybody, I'm gonna go finish blending my hot pepper sauce. I'm gonna pop it in the refrigerator, and then I'm gonna go head out and pick up my new glasses. Yay! All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, you can always send an email. My email is mary@marysheirloomseeds.com, and I do try to answer your questions as quickly as possible. Yes, I put on gloves usually when I'm processing this much hot peppers because you don't want to wipe your face and you don't want to burn your fingers. It can actually feel like a physical burn if you process a lot of peppers at one time. So I learned my lesson. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Happy Saturday and happy planting.